Okay, so I had mentioned previously that in addition to checking the clock speeds that this thing has built in, the range that it can do, I wanted to clock it with something external and sort of see how fast we could run this thing. Um, so, what I want to do now is use an external oscillator. The one I'm going to use is the Dope for A143-4, which is a quad oscillator, voltage controlled LFO slash VCO. So this thing can actually go all the way up to like 25,000 um, kilohertz or 25,000 hertz. So let's plug this in here. Okay. So we're already up pretty fast. Let's just keep cranking it. I'm going to go up to just maximum speed and just see what we got. Yeah, so we're getting like 25K almost. 23K, 24. And let's try the one underneath it. Yeah, so they both get pretty fast. So we're going to just try and run these through Rungle Buddy and see what happens. So I'm going to plug in the scope to, let's just plug into the last bit here. And then we're going to take our really fast oscillator. I did turn down the frequency. Let's just turn it way down so you can sort of see what's happening here. So that's real slow, right? Start cranking it. Okay, it gets real fast. So that's nice and slow. Let's see what happens if we crank this up really fast. How fast can we get this last stage to come out? Because that'll give us an idea. If we can see a shift in the last stage of the register alternating up and down at a high frequency, then we'll know that this thing is operating very fast. So let's just crank this clock up here. Okay, so the clock is maxed out, but we're limited by how fast we're reading in data at the moment. So we're actually not going to see a super fast clock speed here. Yeah, so we're kind of limited by this data input. If I slow this down, you can see that it's actually changing how fast we're getting an output from the last bucket. So let's plug our other 25K oscillator into the data input and see what happens. I'm going to turn it way down first. Okay. So I'm going to start turning this up. This is, again, still just the last stage of the shift register. I have a 25K oscillator going into the clock, and I'm cranking up the data input speed right now. This is how fast we're getting a signal out of the last bucket. Wow. Let's keep going. So we're already up into audio range, and I still have like half a knob worth of turning here. Wow. This is unexpected. I'm able to get up to like almost 20 when they match up between 11, 13, 20. It's kind of all over the place because it's the frequencies of the clock and the data input are beating against each other, so they're not going to match up exactly, but I mean, that's... I can get it pretty stable around 12,000. So that's cool. Let's listen to that. Let's see what that sounds like. So we're just gonna look at this with the scope, and we're gonna listen to it at the same time. Now I'm turning down the clock. And this is the data input going up and down with the clock a little slower. Cool. That's pretty gnarly. Let's see if we can change the timbre a little with the threshold of the comparator cutoff. There's like a very fine line where you can get it to just barely trigger.